Hey guys, it's Coach Ro from RocioFlores.com, and today's health topic is how to eat at a buffet when you're on a diet. So, before I get started, I do want to preface this by saying that I'm not speaking about any specific diet. I think that what diet means to each individual is something completely different. Some people are on super healthy diets, some people are on very unhealthy diets, some people are trying to lose weight, some people are trying to gain weight, and just in general, if you're going to a buffet and you're like, so how do I decide what to eat? I think that this could be a good way for you to decide how to make those decisions. And so I recently went to a buffet and people asked me about what I was eating, and I was thinking, this is probably something that people question a lot. I had to question it before going, and I questioned myself after the fact. So I want to just give you guys some of the framework for how to make these decisions so that you feel comfortable with your decisions. Before I begin, I want to invite you to subscribe to my monthly newsletter. There I share the month's blog posts. I talk a little bit about what I've been going through in my own life and how what I learned can help you with your own personal journey. I also send you a ton of health, career, and personal development freebies. The link will be in the description below, so make sure that you get on there. So let's get started. I think the first thing that you should ask yourself is, how often are you going to the buffet? I think that question is probably different for everyone, but we don't go to buffets that often. I honestly think they're kind of pricey for a place that doesn't let you take your food home. And I'm somebody who has a hard time eating a lot quickly. I eat slowly. And so I think to get your money's worth, you really got to be there for a while. And so it's not something that we choose often. It's usually for like a birthday party, that kind of thing. But there are people who go often. And so it's really a decision that you have to make. Is it something that you are going to go to, twice a year? And if so, the decisions that you make there are going to be very different than if it's something that you do weekly. Like, if you go weekly, that decision that you make is going to weigh a lot heavier in your life than, 2 meals in a year. So, how often do you go? And how often do you plan on going? And how excited do you feel when you are going? I think those are good questions to ask yourself. Because, the second thing I think you should think of is, what do you look forward to when you go to a buffet? Personally, this time that I went, I wanted to eat the fish. So for some reason, I can't cook fish for it to taste the way I want it to taste. It never tastes the way it tastes at the buffet. And so I was craving fish because I'm like, they do it so good. There's no other time that I will eat fish this way. And there's no other place that I would spend money on fish. I'm just not somebody who buys fish. And so I was like, I actually want to eat fish. And so I ate fish. And so I was excited for that. I was also excited to try new foods. So I was just like, I've never had Brussels sprouts cooked correctly. I don't think I want to spend money to try them at a place where I might not eat them. So a buffet is a really good place to try that, right? And so if you're going and you have an idea of what you want to eat, and of course different buffets, different kind of food, right? If you're going to a Mexican buffet, very different food than a Chinese food buffet. And so what are you looking forward to eating? I think having an understanding of what you really are craving, what you're really wanting, what you're wanting to try, will help you with knowing what you should focus on eating when you're there. And this can be new foods or foods that you just know you love, right? And then on the next note is think about what you don't need to eat, right? Like for example, I'm really bad at, so I go to buffets and I eat pizza. And I eat corn, I'll get mashed potatoes, and I get mac and cheese. And that's something that I used to do because I'm a very picky eater. I don't like to eat a lot of foods. And so when I would go as a kid, I just got the stuff I knew, and that's what I would eat. And I'm sure my parents were like, man, that was a waste of money. But as an adult, I'm like, those are foods that I could literally have anytime, at any moment. They're not difficult to make. They are very simple to buy. They're everywhere. So now that I go, I have to think about maybe those are foods I can pass. Those are foods I don't have to have. Unless I'm absolutely craving that specific food, maybe I should try different foods. Try to have the stuff that I wouldn't normally have. Things that, especially if you're thinking of calories, do you really need to have, a roll? If it's something that you're not craving and all it does is fill you up and it just gives you empty calories, then now you can't spend on the things you do want to have. And so you have to think about, what do I really want and what do I really not need to have? The next is, once you understand, this is what I want, this is what I don't really need to have, right? Plan the rest of your day. So if you are going to a buffet often, you should probably think about how that affects your whole week. Because if you're going to a buffet and you're like, I am going to eat everything, it's a free-for-all, then you should probably think about how that free-for-all is going to affect the entire week of progress. Because if you just spent your entire week eating the lowest calories you could and you were like doing so good, and that one meal is going to ruin your entire progress and you're not going to lose weight now, is it worth it? You have to ask yourself, is that something that you're okay with? Is it a decision that you're okay with making? Because at the end of the day, it is a decision that you're making. And so you have to ask yourself, how will it affect my day? How will it affect my week? How will it affect my progress and my health? If you're somebody who goes once a year, twice a year, even once a month, that kind of thing, maybe it won't affect you as much if you're like, screw it, I'll eat whatever I want. So you may not have to do as much planning as somebody who goes often enough for it to affect them. But you should still think about how it will affect and how you need to plan ahead. Because let's say you have been doing really good and you're eating really healthy and you're just super motivated, and so you go to a buffet and you're like, oh my god. You didn't think about it, you didn't put any time into planning it, and now you're in front of the dessert tray and there's like every kind of cake and cheesecake and ice cream and candy, and you're like, I just want everything. So you get everything, and next thing you know, the next morning you wake up and you no longer like the taste of the food that you're eating, and you don't feel like eating that healthy salad, and you don't feel like eating the chicken, and you just want more food. You want more of the unhealthy stuff. And so next thing you know, you just can't get back on track, and that's because you maybe didn't realize how it would affect you physically, how it would affect you mentally, and how it would affect your overall progress, and what it does to your self-esteem, and what it does to your entire progress. And I am doing a video where I am talking about how to eat junk food on a healthy meal plan, so make sure that you check that one out too, because I think it's important to recognize that because so much of the food that's at a buffet can be considered junk food, you should probably understand how that will affect you. And so you have to plan ahead. It's the best thing that you can do, is to plan ahead. And then let's say you planned and you know what you want, you know what you're not really going to care about. Enjoy yourself. I think buffets are fun, the concept of like not having to stick to one food and being able to eat all sorts of stuff and whatever you want and being free and to eat as much as you want. It's a fun idea. It's supposed to be a fun idea. It's supposed to be a rewarding idea. And so if you go into a buffet and you're terrified and you grab a giant bowl of salad and you hate it, and you're trying to stick to eating lean meats, and you're trying to stick to, rules that you don't want to keep, and you're paying for something that you don't even enjoy, and everyone else is having fun, everyone is walking around choosing a bunch of stuff and getting up, and and they're having fun, and you're not gonna like it. You're just gonna feel bad. And when you feel bad, now you're triggering other things, right? Now you're later in the day, you might be thinking, screw it, I hate myself and I want to have that entire box of Oreos. And so you have to understand that there are times where you have to be very methodical about what you eat. There are times where it's okay to let loose a little, but you have to plan ahead. You have to think about it. You have to see how it affects you. But you should also be thinking about how it affects how you feel and how it affects your overall well-being. This is not just about your physical well-being, and any diet that makes it purely about your physical well-being will not work long term. You will not stick to it because you will hate how you feel and eventually give up and go back to what makes you feel good. So think ahead, plan ahead, think about what you truly want, think about the things that you can skip so that you can have what you truly want, and just enjoy yourself. I really hope that this kind of helps you. I know it's not giving you any specifics like you have to eat the salad and you have to eat cake or you have to eat this, because I think at the end of the day it's your choice. It's 100% your choice. You're making the decision. I went and I had 4 freaking pieces of fish because I was really craving fish, and I never eat fish, so I was like, oh yeah, omegas. I also got some other foods that I'm like, I don't really care for this, so I'm not going to finish it. I got some desserts, didn't care for the dessert, and I was like, I'll take a bite, and then I gave the rest to my husband. And then there were some foods that I tried, I was like, this is delicious. Like, I want more of this. And then I had some corn because I was craving it. But other than that, I didn't feel horrible, and I even had greens. Like, I got a bunch of salad, something that I never would have done in the past, because I was craving it. Like, I wanted that in my day. And so I felt positive about my decision, even though I was getting questions about it. And I felt like this is just what I want to do right now. This is what's best for me right now. And I felt confident in that decision. So then I have to decide how it would affect the rest of my day and how I had to move forward. That's something that we just have to do on a daily basis. I hope that by having these ideas in your head, you can kind of start to make those decisions where you can feel confident about your decision and then just continue. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like it, comment, react, subscribe, text, email, whatever it is that you do online. Thank you and have a blessed day. Goodbye.